There won't be kindergarten at Sealy Mile Elementary School. There were only 9 students registered for kindergarten at the school, leading to Grand Island Public Schools' decision to move kindergarten to Stolly Park Elementary. County commissioners held multiple meetings to resolve this issue, and officials say this is all about safety. Brandon, on that day 77 years ago, Richard Hoffman came home from the Navy and did what kids do during that time: go to the farmer's irrigation well and have a water fight. That was also the day Richard met his wife, Mildred. From folded up grain bins to power lines down, trees snapped in half, and debris all across the land, you name it, you'll be able to find any type of damage between the 2 tornadoes that touched down in the Ravenna area. 1 mile every hour for 24 hours. As another group of walkers and joggers are taking off now, this is a way to raise money for the Michaela Mui Ford Memorial Scholarship. She has attained her bachelor's and her master's from Hastings College. Brandon, I'm here outside of the Buffalo County Sheriff's Office, and they have the entire block secured for the police memorial ceremony that will be happening here at 6:30. And as you can see, the fire department is hanging a flag down there too in honor of those fallen officers. Although there aren't many vendors physically here, there are approximately products from 15 different vendors here at the Christmas market. The National Weather Service says that we can see anywhere between 5 to 9 inches of snow. Now that snow will be accumulating over the day, making visibility hard, and also it will be making travel conditions slick. Learning how to stop a bleed is knowledge that everyone should know, because you never know when you will have to stop a bleed. Mindy Walters is the trauma program manager at CHI Health St. Francis. She says the first step is recognizing a life-threatening bleed is occurring. Most people associate life-threatening bleeding with squirting blood or a pool of blood, but that's not always the case. After you call 911, there are steps to stop the bleeding.
So it really depends on where the bleeding is occurring. So if it's occurring in the limbs, that is something that you can apply direct pressure to or apply a tourniquet. There's also other injuries such as junctional wounds. And then internal bleeding is something that you can't technically do something in person, but to recognize that it is going on and getting to a healthcare professional as fast as they can could save somebody's life.
Walters gave people different scenarios to show a life-threatening bleed can happen anywhere. She also says if there's enough blood to fill half a soda can, that person is experiencing a life-threatening bleed. When you're attempting to stop a bleed, make sure your elbows are locked and you're using your body weight to apply pressure. The most important thing to remember is that this can happen anywhere. Reporting from Grand Island, Leroy Triggs, Local 4 News. When it comes to Hastings Unlimited, score sheets don't matter. Director of Vocal Music Christian Yost says even though he has worked with a lot of the students in Hastings Unlimited, it wasn't enough to know what their individual strengths are, while at the same time learning students he hasn't worked with. Yost has to find out what their capabilities were, because some are mobile and some aren't. He explains what was the biggest challenge.
So I think the biggest learning curve was figuring out how to create a group that each student could be successful at their own level and with their own strengths. And that took a couple weeks to kind of figure out. I had to get to know the kids and get to know what they were comfortable with.
Yost says the best showcase of that was when they had solo auditions and every kid wanted to audition by themselves to sing the solo. Now, if you think this choir is just an activity for these kids, you can think again.
We are all best friends, and we actually have really amazing students, friends. We probably really good at it, and I hope we actually have this bond with each other, and it's really special to me.
Grace says she likes show choir because she gets to sing and dance. Reporting from Hastings, Leroy Triggs, Local 4 News.
It just makes it possible for us to be able to come watch. We live in Kansas, so we can never make it to a game. They're always sold out. So we're able to take part of the first game right here locally, close to home. So I went to college here, so it's great to get back home and have such a big event.
It validates the fact that sports is a very important segment of our economy, and that. We don't take 5,000 visitors lightly, and we're just excited about hosting it again. We hosted it about 7 years ago, and we hope that we can maybe have it back before 7 years.
I think it's just cool and good experience, and I'm glad that everybody around gets to see and come and watch. I think it's pretty neat that gets to happen. So I'm very grateful that I'm here right now, and this is wonderful. Go Huskers!
A new form of planting has entered central Nebraska and is in the form of wool pellets. Wool pellets hold 3 times their weight in water and release healthy nutrients into your soil, such as nitrogen and potassium. Landis Murphy says wool pellets work great in times of drought. She says they are 8% nitrogen and 4% potassium, adding plants will come out bigger and healthier.
I use a 2-step manufacturing process. So first up is a wool shredder. So we take the raw fleece, we don't clean it at all. We put it through the wool shredder, and it slices up the fleece into more manageable pieces for a pellet mill. So then the pellet mill is the second step. So it condenses the wool with a roller and die plate mechanism.
Landis Murphy says once that process is complete, you have a wool pellet. She says she gets through 40 pounds of wool per hour, but her ambition doesn't end with operating out of her garage.
Right now, we're a pretty small operation, but we would like to grow into more like market farmers, like small-scale vegetable producers, so they use like 100-foot beds.
Landis Murphy says she worked with another farm last year, and her wool pellets produce more than ordinary growing seeds. Landis Murphy chose the name Kestrel Ridge because Kestrel is a small falcon, and just like her, is small but mighty. Reporting from Lawrence, Leroy Triggs, Local 4 News.